All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans for Tuesday, March 7th, 2023. My name is Bill Soroka. I'm the author of Sign and Thrive, How to Make Six Figures as a Mobile Notary and Loan Signing Agent, and founder of, here we go, founder of, hold on, Kara. Founder of Notary Business Builder, the Advanced Notary Mastermind. I'm here with two special guests in addition to my regular fabulous co-host, Laura Biewer, who is probably skidding in sideways here any moment. I'm going to introduce you to our special guest host here in just a moment. If you're in a position to turn your cameras on, we'd love it if you would do that. It sure helps presenting, hearing your questions, and answering your questions as well. If you're not in a position to do that, don't sweat it. I get it. You might be multitasking, driving, all that good stuff that we have to do all day, every day in this business. So our first special guest who's technical, oh, there's Laura right here. I'm going to do this first. We'll let Laura get settled. Laura Biewer, can you hear us? She's probably on mute. She's always so good at that. There she is. Hey, Laura.
Technical difficulties.
I get it. No problem at all. Laura, I was just telling everybody you were my fabulous co-host on Tuesday Notary Titans. Would you like to take a moment to introduce yourself?
I would love to. Thank you. For anybody who doesn't happen to know me, I'm Laura Biewer, and my mission in the world is to create competent and confident notaries. So welcome to TNT. Glad to have you all with us. Do want to put out a reminder there that if that's part of your mission to be confident and competent, I want to put out a reminder that the Real World Series has 26 state-specific trainings out there. If you weren't aware, and you can just go to my website, coachmelora.com/real. And the other thing I wanted to remind you about is that I do offer a free laser coaching session every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Just go to my website and register.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm going to put that link in the chat for you. So it's just coachmelora.com. You can find everything there, including the schedule a call if you want to join Laura for that laser coaching call on Saturday mornings, and her real world replays, which the direct link is in the chat. It's in the product section of the website as well. All right, Laura, we got two special guests today, so I'd like to introduce those to everybody. I'll introduce Matt first. You know Matt Miller, the founder of the California League of Independent Notaries. He's the co-author of the Apostille Agent Survival Guide, and so much more. Matt, thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thanks, Bill, for having me. I look forward to today's call. And in addition to all of those wonderful things that Bill said, I want to remind everyone to join us tonight on the Notary Successful Journey Clubhouse call, where Sue Hope and I will be talking about situations where you may have been bullied by your clients and how to handle that.
That happens.
Matt, I think I just muted you. I'm so sorry. I was aiming at someone else.
No worries. Stop by at 5 p.m. Pacific on Clubhouse and look for the Notary Successful Journey.
All right. I'm going to post the link to California League of Independent Notaries as well. You can check out that website for membership details, because all notaries across the country are welcome to join that program. Matt also has a really powerful directory of notaries for his members in there too that does really good on the SEO. So check that out. And then our second guest, Judy Lawrence. Judy, it looks like everything's working today. I'm going to have you unmute and introduce everybody. You know Judy Lawrence as the queen of Apostille plus so much more. Judy, welcome.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome. You want to introduce yourself a little more?
Oh, sure. I'm Judy Lawrence. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love. I have an apostille business. I teach apostilles. I do general notary work. I am always doing some.
Oh,
And I think we lost Judy again. I think she's having some internet troubles. But so we'll give her a few minutes to get that resolved and come back on. Guys, TNT is your time to ask questions of this panel of experts that you have. It can be to me, to Laura, Matt, or Judy, or any combination thereof. The best way to for this to work efficiently is to use the raise hand feature in Zoom. Depending on the version of Zoom or the device that you have, usually if you're hovering with your mouse over my face right now, a little toolbar will open up along the bottom. Simply click reactions and there'll be a button that says raise hand. Some ideas to take a full advantage of the level of experts that you have on today's TNT call. Matt, if you saw my introductory email, Matt is skilled at the legislative process and effecting positive change. If you don't like the way something's done in your state, Matt is a great resource to figure out how to take action to fix that. He's also a thriving mobile notary and loan signing agent in the San Francisco area and has fully adopted automation of his business. So you can book online, all that good stuff. He's a great resource for many, many different questions. Judy, not only is she Apostille, an Apostille expert, but she has her own physical location as a notary service. She builds online communities. She talks on Clubhouse. They both published a book. I've published a book. And Laura, Judy, and Matt are experts on Apostille. I mean, the amount of experience you have right now, if you have any questions about that, this is the time to bring it up. Not to mention Laura's complete wheelhouse of expertise too. So I encourage you to raise your hand. Ask the questions you've always wanted to ask right here on today's call. All right, Gloria has been ready to ask her question for several minutes. Thanks for your patience, Gloria.
Hi there.
How can we help?
Hi, I'm Gloria Holt from Southern California. I'll give you just kind of a little quick background before I ask the question. I've been a notary for a number of years, but I'm at a point where I just don't want to build it really big or what have you. I just like to have kind of a steady flow. So I was for a time just really kind of enjoying the signing companies, but now that's dead. And in fact, they're offering signings at like 25 cents on the dollar, which is ridiculous, because there's so many notaries in my area. This is Southern California. So my question to you is about some feedback on signing companies and whether that's a good source for kind of a smallish steady income and other recommendations you may have.
All right, Gloria. So are you looking for specific company names or are you just asking for some feedback on your strategy here?
Probably strategy more than anything else. I mean, company names helps as well. Got a couple of, I'm signed up with about 2 or 3 that are, they contact me regularly, but it's not enough right now because business has slowed down due to real estate and all of that. So any feedback, any ideas you can give me would be great. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, Gloria. And I think this is a really interesting question because not everybody's in full hustle mode, right? You might be in a different phase of your business. And Gloria is more in the maintenance phase of her business. She wants enough clients to generate some revenue, maintain interest, but not necessarily going out 12 hours a day, right?
Right.
Talking to 100 people a day, signing up for 300 signing companies. So that's interesting. I'm going to pass it over to Matt first. Matt, do you feel comfortable talking about this since you're right there in California as well?
Sure. Thanks, Bill. And thanks, Gloria, for coming up. I was going to ask how many you had signed up with, but then Bill explained that you're probably not doing this full time. So I think the best way to get more business from your current signing agent companies or signing service companies would be to really step into differentiating yourself from all the other notaries on their list. And that can be in the way of identifying likenesses, right? Either in your area or with the type of job that they offer. And that can help push you to the top of their list when they're calling for jobs in your area.
Excellent advice, Matt.
Would you do that just by by contacting them or promoting on like a Google business page?
All the above.
All of the above. Okay.
All
Okay.
the above.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I love that. And one thing that Laura, I'm going to pass this over to you next, but I just want to mention that we're in an interesting time in this industry too, because even though, loan signings have slowed down, a lot of these signing companies, they're out doing the same kind of hustle you are. They're expanding their business, they're differentiating, they might be contacting attorneys. So they're getting additional types of signings through. But we've got this little bit of a gap in the quality of notaries again. It's almost gone backwards a little bit because some notaries don't answer their phone. Some notaries have stopped working the business. So there's room here. This is huge opportunity for those that are on this call that are committed to quality to stand out above the rest right now, because there's a pain point. The hiring companies are like, oh my gosh, I can't have another mistake. I'm going to lose this client. Your commitment to continued education and expertise are how you can help stand out. Laura, what do you say about something like this?
It's going to be similar to what Matt was saying. Even when I have signing service relationships, probably less than 10 in total. Because first of all, that's not my priority for business. But second of all, when they call me, they know who I am. They know what kind of service I can provide them. They know the fees that I charge to get me. And so there's never any, when they call and say, hey, are you available? I will make myself available to them. And I never have to quibble over how much the fee is going to be, or if there's something different than what they thought was in the package. And I say, hey, did you know? And they're like, oh, we didn't know that, let us take care of it. So those are the only ones. And I guess the thing is, I've never felt it necessary to have hundreds of relationships with signing services if you have the right ones. And if you've got some already established, I'd be working on how can I enhance those to help them see that you might cost more than what they're putting out there at the moment, but you're right there with them, and that you're there to support them. Because if you're not looking to grow your business into, full-time, full-blown, then you don't need all those relationships. But the ones that you have should be good, should be solid, and they should know who you are, separate from the other notaries that they're working with. And that's probably a lot easier to say than do. But, reaching out to them, also help understanding what their position is as well. We're not the only ones looking for work, right? They're looking for work. Because if they're not getting the work, there's nothing to feed us anyways. And so they're in a similar situation where they're trying to figure out, how do I get more of what I've already got? And maybe what other kinds of assignments can I pass through here as well? And having empathy for that, rather than, hey, you're not offering very much. Think of it in terms of they are doing the same dance we are, and let them know that you get that. And times will continue to change. And as they do, so will the marketplace in terms of what, we can command in fees. We know that can travel up and down. But, stay close to those that you've got. And when you have opportunity for a new one, follow through with follow up, reaching out to them. Hey, I know business seems to have been a little slow. How's it going for you? Is there anything I can do to help you with that? I don't know that there's anything I can do as a single notary to help them with that. But even just putting it out there, what if they came up with something? I don't know. It's, the thing is anything is possible if we open ourselves up to that. And so I think that's what my strategy would be, is enhance the relationships I have. And when I'm developing new ones, I wouldn't be going on to, answer the SnapDoc stuff, because that's not relationship building at all. Right. And that's usually where, some of the lower fees are. So those would be my recommendations.
Thank you. It's good.
Yeah, that's great advice. And something occurred to me as Laura was speaking to, 'cause I was in a position as well where I I wasn't trying to grow my signing company business. As much as I love that, it generated great revenue. It still generates decent revenue. it's the most stressful part of my job. So I didn't want to grow it because, I was trusting someone else to go out and do the job. And I own that too much. It's twisting my stomach. So I decided I wasn't going to do that. I wasn't going to grow it. But I still get word of mouth referrals. I still have people find me. And you'll run into this too, Gloria. And anybody who's not in a growth stage or a growth season of their business, you might run into this too. That doesn't mean that's not an opportunity for a relationship. So, Gloria, if you're working your business and you're doing your Google business profile and you get an escrow officer or a lender or somebody who's looking to, that wants to feed you more business than you can handle, if that opportunity shows up, remember that there are other signing companies, other notaries, there are other people in your network that might really benefit from a relationship like that. And you can be a resource to your network by making those types of connections. And I've done that even in my signing company. This client was too big. I did not want to go through and set up the resources in my organization to support them. So I referred that to another signing company owner. And that has helped solidify a relationship there too. Those opportunities exist everywhere. One of the biggest things we can do is to be a resource to our network, not just a nope, can't help you, but I may not be the best person for this, but I know somebody who might be making that kind of introduction. Gloria, was that helpful?
That was excellent. Thank you so very much, all of you, all three of you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. All right, Celiana, is it Celiana?
Yes, it's Celiana. Hi, how are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for being here from Virginia. How can we help today?
Okay, well, this is a pretty basic question. I actually was suggested to get on this call by another person that's here today, Celicia Jones.
All right.
I'm just starting out, as in I am just deciding that I would like to become a notary. Where do I start?
Great question.
First step, that's it.
First step. Laura, Matt, who wants the first step question? Laura works with the NNA so closely. Laura, why don't you take this one first?
Yeah, so Virginia, I think the first thing you'd want to do is if you go to the NNA website, it doesn't mean you're going to necessarily go with all their training and everything, but if you go to their website, put in Virginia for your state, they will tell you.
I got that far.
Okay, and so you saw what the requirements are for your state?
Well,
Did you get
no,
that
I found the site, so, but yeah.
far? Okay.
And then it has the
Alright.
3 options to get, like, for $150 or whatever.
Yeah, but if you
3
go,
different options.
I think if you scroll below that, where you don't have to make those choices yet, you can just find out what the requirements are to be a notary. Like do you have to have a bond? Do you have to have E&O? Do you have to take a class? Do you have to take a test? These are the kinds of, do you have to have a background check? What are the requirements to hold the commission? And I think that's where you want to start, is to know what those requirements are. And if you don't have success finding it, if you'll email me, I have the page and I can send you that link. All right. And so that way you can at least know, all right, am I going to meet the requirements they have, or do I want to meet the requirements they have? Then from there, even if there's no training requirement for your state, I highly suggest you get training. NNA does some generic level state specific training online. I have a 2-hour class that's Virginia specific, but mine will not meet, and nor will the NNA meet your state specific requirement if there's a requirement for state training. Right, if they require you to take their own state training, that's what you need to do. Everything else would be in addition.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank
and
you.
my email is my last name, Biewer, BIEWER @sbcglobal.net.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Awesome.
That'll get you
Thank you
started.
very much.
You're
Welcome to the industry, but let's not stop there, Matt.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for somebody just stepping into the business?
Well, beyond all your statutory compliance requirements, and I'll back what Laura said, get some training on not just, your state statutes, but how to be a notary I think that's really important, and I think that's overlooked when notaries are coming into the business. But I'll add that if I were, doing this all over again or coming in now, I think that I would do a little bit of research to determine what kind of notary I want to be. And what I mean by that is, do I want to be a real estate notary focused on loan signings and seller packages and all things real estate? Do I want to be a notary who focuses on estate plans and trusts and wills and all that kind of thing? Do I want to be an apostille agent where I deal with document authentication and documents going overseas? Do I want to be more into the fingerprinting world, or a combination of whatever? Find out what is in high demand in your area, and that can help you decide what kind of business you want to have.
Excellent advice. Because then on top of
Yep,
that too,
thank you.
in Virginia, you've got remote online notarization, well, in so many other states. So you can decide if the mobile notary run or all of that. I think that's really good. Most of us stepped into this business pretty blindly, right? We heard this was a good business. I remember an escrow officer friend say, "Hey, just get your notary seal. I can pay $150 an hour." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do it." I had no idea what I was stepping into. Now you almost have a gift of all this other experience and perspective to help figure out how you can design your business a lot better than many of us could from the beginning. Celiana, thank you so much. Judy, I think
Thank
Judy's
you.
having some, oh, here's Judy. Hey,
Yeah,
Judy.
he's back.
Judy, I'd love to hear, you're on mute still, but I just wonder if you have some advice for a new notary stepping into the
And I
business.
apologize, I am having internet problems. Yeah, I agree with Matt wholeheartedly, but I would add that before you look at fingerprinting and apostilles and all this other stuff, you really have to hone in on good notary skills. You really do, because everything that you're going to do reverts back to understanding your notary skills, your basic, what I can do and what I can't do, what's going to be rejected because it wasn't notarized properly. So if I had to do all over again, and I was, God forbid, and I was just in the very beginning, I think you have to really spend the first few months practicing on being the best notary you can be, and then start to look at all the different areas that are open, because there are many of them. That's what I think.
So many possibilities. Yeah, great
Yeah.
advice, Judy. Thank you. I think you got a
Thank you,
theme there,
Judy.
Celiana, right? Like Matt, Laura, and Judy said, focus on being a good notary first.
Right.
All
Good.
right.
Thank you.
All right, welcome to the biz. Hey, Debbie.
Thanks.
Good afternoon to everyone. I have two questions, and the first one I will target Matt Miller. And if you could give us an update of, what you think the status of legislation for Ron in California is.
Well, thanks, Debbie, for asking. That's always a hotly interested topic, and I can report that we do have at least one bill in the legislature right now. It is a direct pickup of where we left off last year. So all those good things that I was talking about last year that we would get with RON, like being able to copy certified digital documents to tangible documents, and data privacy protections and liability sharing and some jurisdictional protections, all that's still in there. And we're going to certainly fight to keep all of those things intact. There's also what's called a spot bill in the Senate, which we think is a spot bill for an RON bill from another sponsor, but yet they have not produced any language yet, so it may very well go away. And then also there is the 2023 version of the Federal Secure Notarization Act, which did pass out of the House last week and now is over in the Senate. However, nobody I'm working with thinks that it will pass out of the Senate, because nobody wants a federal approach to notarization as it is a state's right, and we want to keep it that way. Another bill we have in the California legislature that you might be interested in is a bill that addresses what happens to notarial records upon the death of a notary. So right now, we're supposed to identify a personal representative to take care of those records after our death, but we're finding that that is not happening. And now that the baby boomer generation is aging, there are a lot of requests for journal entries for their trust they signed maybe 20 years ago. So we've had to tighten that up to make sure that those records are being recorded with the county clerks so that we can make sure our notarial system is robust and reliable going forward. So that's what we have going on right now. I will have an article coming out in the next week or so in the CLIN newsletter. So if you're not signed up for that, go to calnotaries.org and get signed up. And that'll go into a bit more detail what our legislative agenda is and what you can do to get involved. Thanks for the question.
Thank you. Always nice to hear the current status. And I also have a very quick question for Judy. I have a job coming up that's going to involve Apostille work, and wondering what is the name of the website that lists the Apostille couriers.
It's called apostilledirect.usa.com. And if you are interested, tomorrow at 7 p.m., we are going to give a tour of that website. Michelle Klempner and I are going to give a tour of that website, including how to get on it, how to use it, how to navigate it, how to make sure your profile is right, so that if you're looking for couriers, you will be able to find them. And I will, I'll put the Zoom link. Bill, I'll send you the Zoom link so you could put it in the chat.
And
It's gonna
that's
be
7 p.m. Eastern.
Eastern, yes, thank you. I always forget that. It's 7 p.m. Eastern, and it shouldn't be more than maybe a half hour, 45 minutes. We're gonna give just a tour, because everyone calls me and says, what do I do? How do I use it? So we're gonna tell you how to use it, and then we'll have like 15 minutes at the end for questions.
Thank
So
you very much.
Please feel free to stop by.
I will be on that call.
All right, great.
Awesome. I can include the link in the replay email as well. Debbie, great questions. Thank you for that. Sharon Mitchell, thank you for being here. What state are you in and how can we help?
I'm in Nevada.
All right.
And my question is to you. I have joined your 104 funnel challenge.
Oh, yeah.
I did the training yesterday about Google page. And I have joined or downloaded the rapid funnel.
Yes.
And I'm trying to go through the training there. And my question is, will you have a Zoom training on that? Because I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, you're not the only one, Sharon. And absolutely, yeah. Now that we're through the launch and we're working out a lot of the hiccups, a lot went into releasing the new version of Tom last Thursday. Now we've got a significant amount of users on it. So we're breaking it, right? We're figuring out what's going on. And then we'll do some live trainings too to teach you how to do that. Because that app has, it can empower you in ways that I used to have to do manually, reaching out, connecting and staying in touch with people with my legal pad. This tool makes it so much easier. And so, yes, we will be offering live trainings. You'll get an email from me through the Rapid Funnel and a push notification when I have that training scheduled. It'll come up in the next couple of weeks though.
Oh, good, because right now, what I'm doing is I'm inputting on my phone all of the different connections, people that I have met. I have hundreds of cards, right?
Yep.
Of people in different businesses and stuff. And so now I'm putting some of those cards in. I've downloaded a lot, but I still have a lot to go. Now, I know the funnel said it could hold a lot of connections, but there's a limited amount of how many you can go on the campaigns. So that's questions on breaking down the campaigns and how many campaigns can you have as you go down the list of all the people that you have on your phone that you want to send out about being a notary and stuff.
Yeah, I love that you're even thinking about this, Sharon, because that's really next level thinking. And yeah, we'll definitely have a conversation about that. Right now, the campaign that we built for you, we wrote for you, that 15 email
Yes.
campaign. You can have as many contacts as you can hold, can get that campaign. You can assign it to that.
Oh, okay.
If you decide that you want to create your own campaigns, that's a premium or a pro upgrade. And we can talk about that too. We'll talk about that in the training as well.
Okay.
But you can add, everybody you talk to, you don't want to blindside them with an email campaign, right? That's not going to be effective anyway, but you can cultivate a relationship one person at a time. And you've got basically 4 tools in there to maintain that relationship, stay connected, have something interesting to talk about. So you're not just talking about the same thing. We're not talking about E&O insurance or background checks or profiles, right? Or how good you are. You actually have something more interesting to share. And that's where the power of Tom comes, because you want to differentiate yourself in a sea of sameness where everybody's talking about the same thing. You want to talk about something different. That's how you get noticed.
Okay. Have one more question.
You bet.
I've downloaded it on my phone, but I love my computer.
Yeah.
So I have it on my computer also. Are those two connected? If the people that I download on my phone, are they connected to my computer?
Yeah, absolutely. When you add a contact to Tom on your phone, it'll be in your contacts on your computer.
Okay, so people who, like, I don't have emails. Everybody don't have emails, but they have phone numbers.
Yep.
So I could go either or both.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you ever have any question at all, just reach out to support@rapidfunnel.com and the team will take good care of you. And then of course you can reach out to me just like this, Sharon.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. You're welcome. Thanks for being here. All right. Speaking of Tom, guys, part of my mission is to help you serve 1,000 more customers in 2023. Part of the way I'm doing that is I created these free resources on the Tom app, and I'm making it free for you to use in 2023. You can go to notarycoach.com/Tom, TOMM, for top of mind method. And there it comes with training. Click the coaching tab and it'll walk you through the training as well. And if you have any questions, we have lots of support for you as well. All right. Dina, thanks for being here. Would you like to unmute? Tell us what state you're in and how we can help.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, sure can.
Yeah, I'm in Nevada, as well as a previous speaker.
All right.
And my first question is to Matt and Judy, and it's regarding apostilles. And I just finished with the book they wrote, and in the book, one of the areas where we can market to was the pharmaceutical one.
Yeah.
I have never heard about this opportunity. So if it's possible, could you please just provide more details? What are those documents that get apostilled in pharmaceuticals area?
Heck yeah. So I'd love for both of you to be able to talk about this. Judy, can we start with you?
Sure. I don't know that I can tell you the exact documents, but I can tell you that pharmaceutical companies, when they have a patent or they have a project, sometimes it goes all over the world. Sometimes it can go to many different countries. And that's why, in my opinion, if you can hook into a pharmaceutical company, and they will need you, they will definitely need you, and they will need you on an ongoing basis. I have had very good success with that. Just usually when they need you for a lot of them. Then there may be a time period where they don't need you for a little bit, but they'll be back if you do a good job and you give them good service. And as when I couldn't get internet before, I heard Bill talking about answering the phone. So if you answer the phone you get the work, you do a good job, they will come back again and again and again. The downside is, of course, it's hard to get. We are in a place right now where they don't answer their phones. That's the unfortunate part. They don't answer their phones. So leaving a message on their voicemail or sending them an email or a note or a letter or doing something to let them know. And just want to add one more thing. Many of these people, you would be shocked, but they probably are looking for you. They probably would be saying, I wish I had somebody in my area that knew how to do this. And so don't think that you are looking for something that doesn't exist. They sometimes might say, wow, we've been looking for a person like you for a long time. And then if you give them good service on time and everything else, you'll have a good client. Matt, do you agree?
I agree. I'll circle back to your original question, but to continue with what Judy was saying, I think just making sure that everybody that comes to your website, your Google business profile, every directory listing you have on the web, and talking to customers, make sure that they know that you offer Apostille services. A lot of times I'll be sitting with a client handling something and I might see a foreign language component to a document or a document in foreign language, and I'll say, hey, do you need this Apostille? 90% of the time, they're not going to know what you're talking about. But if you educate them on what it is, the next time they need it, or when they do need it, or when they know someone who does need it, they're going to send them your way. But back to your question about the types of documents for pharmaceutical companies, Judy's right on. Absolutely. Patents, drug IP information, but also when they're opening bank accounts across overseas, they're going to need certified copies of identity credentials. They're going to need maybe certified copies of their operating agreement or their business incorporation to prove that they're in good standing. Those are some of the more common ones. But I think if you market towards certified copies of, that will help bring in more Apostille clients for you, because that's a big request for apostilles, as certified copies of other documents.
Great advice. You know, hearing the two of you share on that, it reminded me, I've been speaking to attorneys a lot lately, and we often talk about the Apostille agent opportunity. And I am blown away how many international attorneys are not aware that there are people like you guys and on this call that do this for a living. They think that their staff has to take care of it, and they're paying their staff to do other work. So it's kind of a burden sometimes, this Apostille process. So you almost see their eyes light up. They're like, wait, what? There's people who will do this for us? So I think that's when we approach the people that you would market to, your ideal customer, right? Whether it's pharmaceutical companies. In fact, do either one of you, is there a particular office in a pharmaceutical company that typically handles this, or a role that we could market to?
Go ahead, Matt.
General counsel came to mind for me, but
Okay.
Judy?
Human resources, but whoever you're going to talk to has to be able to get you to the decision maker. So you have to be able to know that that person, gee, wow, you could do that. That's awesome. But then they have to be able to get you to the decision maker. We had somebody in here last week, and he's used us a couple times and for a major amount of work. And he said, I'm going to a leadership meeting this afternoon. But then he said, and after that, you'll get a call from my team leader, or whatever he called him, because he's not the decision maker.
Yeah.
It has to go to someone who is. So you want to be quietly trying to find out who, when you're talking to someone, are you the person I would meet with, or would we be meeting with you? And someone else. You want to try to find out if they can get you to the decision maker who's going to say, absolutely, we can give this company a try.
Awesome. Good advice. That's so true. And so whenever you're going out and you're finding these decision makers, general counsel, I see the patent and trademark department, HR, whatever it might be, just know that what we take for granted as industry jargon, apostille agent, apostille facilitator, they may not know what that language is. So when you reach out to them, describe what you're willing to do. Describe your services in a way that connects the dots, right? We have to connect the dots for people sometimes. If they don't know what an apostille agent is, when they read it in your email, they skip right over it. Don't even know what it means. But if you describe what you can do and you show the value, the benefit to them, then you might get their attention in a different way. Laura, I know you have lots of experience with apostille too. Would you have anything to add to this?
Well, I've had best luck with food companies that do international sales. And the executive secretary to usually the vice president level, the executive level, has been the one who reached out to me to see about my ability to facilitate this. And so I've got currently 3 different companies located here in Modesto, but they do international sales. And the kinds of documents I've had to do for them were certified copies of their board minutes is one. And the ones that Matt suggested as well, the bank accounts documents and the ID credentials have been, and then lots of copy of the driver's license, copy of the passport, certified copies, if that's in your state, or copied by document custodian is typically the kinds of acts we're doing over and over again. And then the other one I get quite frequently is for students going abroad to a foreign university, and they need to have certified copies of their diplomas and starting from high school diploma, college diploma, whatever it is, depending on why they're going over. So that I get, and that's usually from the public then, and they're getting that through my website, Yelp, Google My Business.
Awesome. Great suggestion. Dina, was that helpful?
Yeah, it was just priceless. I just have another clarifying question. Does it mean that the list of companies, pharmaceutical companies that I have to market myself to is limited to the ones that do exports, right? That's selling their goods abroad, and if they don't have any here in Nevada, so I'm just out of the game. Does it mean that?
So do you mean, is your list of
I mean,
prospects just the ones
yeah,
in
so-
Nevada?
Yeah, so I mean, the companies, the pharmaceutical companies, I can market only to the companies that sell their goods abroad, right? To certify some of their stuff and get apostilles. But what if they don't have any facilities here, any branch offices in Nevada? So do I market online, or just I just thought maybe I can go to their building and just offer to outsource the apostille service. So if they don't have the branches here in Nevada, is there any way to market? What if their main office somewhere in New York or in California? That was my question.
I love this question, Dina. Matt, I'm going to pass this over to you too. Is there a way to be of service to these companies, even if they don't have a physical location in your city or state?
Yes. And should this company export these goods, their goods to another countries? Otherwise, there is no sense to get their documents apostilled, right?
Matt,
what if they work only? What if the pharmaceutical companies work on locally?
Yeah, we'll let Matt answer that question.
Yeah. So, to answer the question number one, what if they don't have a headquarters in Nevada? Doesn't matter. They might still have employees in Nevada that need to sign documents that may be going overseas. So still, I would offer your services in Nevada, because maybe, and this is not a long shot, if one of their executives that might be at the New York headquarters was born in Nevada and needs their birth certificate apostilled, that's going to come to you, because that has to be done in your state. And then the second question was, if they're not doing business overseas, should you not market to them? No, yes. I would not limit myself, because even if they're not even if they don't need an apostille right now, they will know that you know what that service is and can take care of it for them when the need does arise. So never limit yourself just because you don't think they're doing business overseas.
The other thing too, I wonder, Matt, if, and Judy, both of you maybe can tag team on this too, is the huge opportunity. The reason I get so excited about the Apostille agent possibility is it's not state specific. With this network of other Apostille agents across the country, Matt, is it conceivable that Dina can build a business? Maybe she's really good at online marketing, find a pharmaceutical company in New York, start getting their business, even when she's in Nevada, and start partnering with other notaries around the country to fulfill these orders.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I just remembered that Nevada has RON, so you don't need to be where they are anymore. You could notarize their documents online, and then since you notarize them as a Nevada notary, you would get them apostilled in Nevada. And then to the second part of Bill's question is that there are notaries all over the country doing this type of work. And I often find myself working with notaries in other states because I'll have documents presented to me for apostille that originated in those states. So I can't send them to my Secretary of State. I got to find someone to work with another state who can facilitate that apostille there. So you could position yourself as a Nevada apostille agent, expert, facilitator to the world. And then when people are looking online for Nevada apostille, you'll pop up, you'll get the business.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting, right, Dina?
Yes, it is. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. That was very helpful.
You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. And when earlier Judy was talking, or Deborah had asked Judy about the courier service, these apostille couriers, this is the network that they're talking about, people who can run those to the state capitol or the SOS office for those apostilles. So if you go to apostilledirectusa.com, you can check out that network that you might gain access to as there. And Judy, are you still on? She may have been knocked out or knocked off, not knocked out.
I keep getting bounced off. I don't know why, but I am here. And yeah, I agree with Matt. And that's what we do. I mean, we have a bank of people and we work together. I needed something done in New Jersey yesterday, but it had to be done today. So I called somebody and it's already done. And this takes a village. This is not something you can do all by yourself, because just because I was born in Pennsylvania doesn't mean that if I was visiting Laura in California and I might say to Laura, hey, while I'm here, can you apostille my birth certificate for me? This would be a good time to get it done. I keep forgetting. She would have to do it in Pennsylvania. She couldn't, just because I'm in California, that's not where I was born. So you will find yourself working all over the country in lots of different states. And you will also find, once you hook up with someone and they do a good job for you, you'll probably call them back again and again and again, and they will call you and you will build a relationship. And that's how this thing works. So that's why we saw this courier service as such an important link in apostille agents becoming successful.
Judy, I love that. And thank you for jumping right in there. While we still have you and the internet's working, what do you say to people who say, I called my SOS office and they say they're the only ones who can do apostille?
That is the most frequently asked question I get. Judy, I really want to take your course, but I called my Secretary of State yesterday and they said, only we can do it. Only we do apostilles. Okay, I'm going to tell you why that question was answered like that, because probably someone called and said, my name is Judy Lawrence and I want to do apostilles, and can I do them? And the Secretary of State has 5 other lines ringing and they go, no, only we can do it. And they hang up. That's the end of that. Now, if Judy Lawrence had called and said, I just took a course, I really want to do apostilles, can you direct me to where on the internet I might find more information or something like that? then you might get a different answer, which is yes, absolutely. We welcome to, the Pennsylvania Secretary of State or whatever. Framing the question is why I believe that so many people are told they can't do it. However, let me say this right now, and I know Matt's going to agree with me on this one. You as the apostille agent are the link that makes it all happen. You are the one that puts the right papers in, they're notarized correctly, you've got the right amount of money, you've got the right cover sheet, you figured it out. Is it a hay country? Is it non-hay country? You're the link. Lori Ham, who works in the Secretary of State's office in Montana, once told me that 64% of the rejections, and by the way, people in the Secretary of State's office,
I think we lost her. It looked like that was going to be a
hate
really
to reject them
there we
because
go.
it's a waste of their time, and then they got to get it back again. They do. So you know why 64% of the documents are rejected? Anybody? Because they're not notarized correctly. So that goes back to what we said in the beginning about honing in on those notary skills and making sure that you know when an acknowledgement is necessary or whatever, and sending them up correctly. Matt, you wanna piggyback with me?
Sure. And Judy is right. You can be that expert that gets it done. Because I want everyone to understand that in the United States, it is true. The Secretary of State is deemed as the only competent authority that may issue the apostille, but you can get it done for your customer. So that's what you want to focus on. And Judy is absolutely right. Most apostille requests are rejected. The people at the Secretary of State's office, if you form a relationship with them, they will become, they'll start to appreciate you because you're making their job easier. And anything that you can do to make a government worker's job easier, you're going to be gold. So that's what you want to focus on. You get the job done without rejection in a timely manner. And that's the service they're paying for, because it is true, the SOS is the only one that can actually issue the apostille itself.
Matt, I'm sorry, Judy, what were you going to say?
Could I just add one more thing?
Yes, please.
Think about if you were working at the Secretary of State's office and somebody called and said, I did my research and I know that I can do this, that, and that. And I want to know, am I going in the right direction? Is there something you can add to help me? Because I'm just starting out and I really want to know. That might make that person actually stop and spend 10 minutes with you on the phone versus when you call and just say, can I do apostilles? And then and like I said, they've got 15 lines ringing and they're like, no, bye. So frame your question carefully. And if you really don't want to call the secretary, then call Matt and call me. Notice I put you first.
Matt, how many states can you be an apostille agent in? Like
All 50 plus a few territories.
there's no restrictions on geographical boundaries on this opportunity, guys. If you're really serious about thinking about it, or if you're really serious about doing this and you want to just explore more, I recommend starting with Matt and Judy's book. Go to allaboutapostilles.com. I posted the link in the chat and you can just start with the book. No pressure. You can do this. You're a beacon of light in a very confusing process. Remember, we take paperwork for granted. We deal with paperwork all the time as a notary or an apostille agent, but the general public doesn't always have that luxury. It's new to them. And sometimes they value their time over their money. So they're just going to hire somebody, an expert, to do it. This is the convenience economy. Dina, was that helpful? Did you get your questions answered?
That was. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Great question. Thanks for sparking an amazing conversation. Guys, I also want to remind everybody that in April 15th, Laura, Judy, me, Jennifer Neitzel, Saron Mayweathers, we're going to be at the Notary Evolve Summit in Dallas, Texas. If you happen to be in Texas, or if you're close to Texas, we'd love to see you. It's an all-day event, live event in person. I'm going to post the Linktree event to Saron's Linktree, and you can book your ticket there. NBB members are going to be invited to a brunch the next day. There's happy hours. There's tons of education during that day. So if you can make it, and you want an in-person event with some nerderies, join us, please. Julie Brown, thanks for being here in Washington as well. How can we help today?
Thank you, Bill. I had a quick question. I just wanted to know, I really want to start marketing for Apostilles, and I wanted to get your guys's thoughts on insurance in order to offer this service to the public.
Excellent. So, Matt, I'm going to pass this one to you first. And I'm assuming you're talking about, Julie, errors and omissions insurance or liability insurance of some kind?
Yes, exactly. I do have the merchants bonding through the NNA, which I got when I did my commission, but I get the feeling that there is something else that I should be carrying when I'm doing the international documents. And I just wanted to get insight on that.
Matt, what do you say?
So, yeah, I mean, I have a mandatory bond, I have E&O insurance, but those things are only going to cover notary related matters. So everything else you need to get what's known as a general business policy for. And there are different companies around the country that specialize in document services type insurance, or think of on the lines of like paralegals and legal document experts. That's kind of the same type of policy that you'd be seeking. I know Travelers offers a great one. But that's what you probably want to do your research on, and then get comfortable with an amount. Most people will probably carry somewhere around $1 million because a lot of these documents are very sensitive to patents or real estate or powers of attorney. So you want to make sure your bases are covered there.
Great. Judy, do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, I agree, but I just want to add one thing. If you already have a policy, call them and ask them if the underwriter would put a clause in your policy that you are covered for international documents or that kind of work. That's what I have. I have the bond and I have the E&O, but then I have a nice size policy, and the underwriter added in there that that's the kind of work I do. So you don't want to surprise them. God forbid, if something happens, you want to be able to say, well, you know, I have insurance that covers that. Try Biewer. They're really nice to work with.
Biewer, great. Thank you so much. Julie, does that help?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for being here. I think we can close out with Phil Shannon.
I was going to say, I'll leave room for Brashana, my friend from Oklahoma City, but for those of you who do not know, join me 5 minutes from now. We'll be doing a little Zoom presentation. Bill's probably putting the information in the chat as we speak. Love to help you protect and grow your business. Great to see so many wonderful people here. Thanks so much. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. This was an amazing conversation. I just want to thank our special guest, Laura. I'll let you maybe do the outro for our special guest. You feel good about that?
An outro for our special guest, meaning Matt and Judy.
Matt and Judy, yeah, just say goodbye.
Oh, goodbye.
Oh, goodbye.
Matt and Judy, thanks for joining us today. It's just really so nice to have many of us being able to answer these specific kinds of questions. And I just love when we have an opportunity to add extra experts onto our weekly show. So thanks for being with us. And you guys, you had a great opportunity to hear right from the people who do the work, how it's done and how to go get it.
Absolutely. And that's not it. Matt and Judy are going to be here every Tuesday on TNT for the month of March. So if you heard some good questions, if we didn't get to your questions, please plan on joining us next Tuesday and the Tuesday after and the Tuesday after. Matt, Judy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Bill, Laura.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.
See you next Tuesday, same time, same place.
Bye, everyone.